Yo kids, what's up? Goat here. And I was tagged by the lovely Deb Campos to tell you guys a little bit about myself. So, I guess first off, my real name is Jeff. And yes, this is my true sexy Godfather voice. Grew up in a happy home with two parents that are still together. Loved mom, dad. I have two younger brothers. We're all 3 years apart. We pretty much broke all my mom's stuff. So sorry about that, Mom. Now I have two kids of my own and a wife, and realize what a pain in the ass I probably was as a kid. We moved around probably every year and a half because of my dad's job. He did construction. So I lived in Ohio, Missouri, Michigan, Kansas City, which is also Missouri, I guess, Indiana, Washington State, Texas, and we settled back in Ohio eventually. I was almost dual citizenship. At the time, my parents lived in Thunder Bay, Canada, which is up near the boundary waters of Minnesota. But my mom wanted to come home and have her first baby in the United States. So anyway, I'm a straight up U.S. citizen. So, a couple things, I guess. You need 5 things about me. In my teens, used to primitive camp. I owned a teepee. I did a lot of French and Indian War reenactments. And probably up into my early 20s, I learned how to throw tomahawk, forge iron, sew leather and canvas, made all my own clothes. Secondly, I grew up freestyle biking and skateboarding. I still own some of that stuff. I'm now 42 and love it, but I don't do it very much. You've probably seen Search for Animal Chin in the movie Rad, I don't know, hundreds of times each. Thirdly, I love woodworking. I have a ton of tools. Kind of my whole garage, half of it is woodworking tools. I love to fabricate and build things in my house and tinker around. And at one point, I had a small kind of woodworking business with a buddy of mine that I still talk to all the time, but both of us just kind of grew up and decided it wasn't what we were going to do. To tie that together with the primitive camping thing, I, in my teens, spent 192 hours carving a smooth bore muzzleloader. It is a replica of a Northwest trade gun. It shoots. I have killed squirrels and pheasant and rabbit with it. I've never shot anything big with it, but it pokes out a pretty big ball, 62 calibers, and it's smooth bore, so I can shoot shot or rocks or dog food or pack it full of cicadas or whatever you want, really. And all that's been shot out of it, which is pretty fun. I kind of grew up in the outdoors scene. My dad and mom were outdoorsy people. Not really so much my mom, but she loved to fish, and every year we took a family trip to Canada and we'd pike fish and whatever. And that was great. So I grew up hunting and fishing and have been to Labrador and shot a caribou. I've been to Montana, shot a pronghorn, various turkeys, deer, pheasants, did 10 days in the Sawtooth Mountains of Washington to try to shoot mule deer and black bear, but I ended up empty-handed on both of those. But a buddy of mine did get a really nice black bear during that trip, and I got to ride horses for 10 days through the mountains, so that was way rad. That brings me to 5. What's 5? I love nutrition, and about 7 years ago, maybe 8 or so, I got kind of sick and really totally lost my voice. So this is not totally 100% my true voice, but I haven't heard it in 8 years, and I think it will come back. I try every year to tweak things of my diet, and 8 years ago, I really could barely talk. It was like this, or like this. It was really awful, and which totally didn't fit my personality. And sometimes still, when I call people on the phone, they're like, "Oh, yes, ma'am," and I'm like, that's so funny, it just cracks me up. So anybody that ever answers the phone, it might be a dude that sounds like an old lady. Just saying. Anyway, nutrition. I love it. I follow it. I try to eat healthy. I'm not a vegetarian or vegan or anything like that extreme, but I do watch what I eat, and I don't eat all vegetables. I don't eat all meat. I don't eat all whatever, and I slowly am trying to get my voice back. So anyway, I think anybody can do anything, and you got nothing but time. So why not try? Try to change yourself for the better and see what comes out of it. Anyway, I have to tag a couple more people, and I'm walking on my lunch break through the woods, so at the moment I don't know who I'm going to tag, so I will come back to that. Goat out.